the oldest Buddhist master. Eat these daily to balance your hormones and discover the profound peace and inner balance that you have been searching for. Are you tired of feeling like your body is a stranger, a source of constant frustration and confusion? Are you weary from the emotional and physical exhaustion, the unpredictable cycles, the painful cystic acne, the frustrating hair growth, or the heartbreaking hair loss? Are you just so tired of the anxiety that seems to be a constant companion with polycystic ovary syndrome? The feeling of being at war with your own reflection, the bloating, the cravings, and that deep, weary sense that you are somehow broken and that no one truly understands. The good news, the truly profound and hopeful news, is that the path to balance is not about fighting a war. It is about compassionate nourishing. Ancient wisdom, the kind whispered in quiet monasteries and passed down through generations, teaches us that the body inherently seeks harmony, and that the right foods, when eaten with the right intention, can calm the internal storms, soothe the inflammation, and gently guide your hormones back to a place of peace. In today's video, we are not just going to list foods. We are diving deep into the sacred principles, inspired by the profound wisdom of Buddhist masters, that can help you rebalance your hormones naturally and holistically. We are uncovering the daily practices and deeply nourishing foods that can help you finally manage your polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms, reclaim your vibrant energy, and find a lasting stability that you may have thought was impossible. So please, stick around, allow yourself this time, because you are about to discover life-changing insights that go far beyond any simple diet plan. This is a journey back to your center. Before we begin this journey together, I would love to know where you are joining me from today. Please drop a comment below, perhaps sharing one word about how you are feeling in this very moment, and feel free to ask any questions you have. This is a shared space, a safe space. And if you are seeking a community of genuine support and healing, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss a single tip for finding balance and reclaiming your health from sacred women's health. First, let's talk about the very foundation of this imbalance, the inner fire that this ancient wisdom seeks to gently calm. Polycystic ovary syndrome can feel like an impossibly complex puzzle, a storm of symptoms that seem disconnected and chaotic. You hear words from doctors like insulin resistance, excess androgens, chronic inflammation, and it all feels so overwhelming, like a heavy diagnosis that labels you. But what if we looked at this through a different lens, a lens of deep compassion? Buddhist wisdom teaches us that suffering, or dukkha, often arises from a deep imbalance, from a system that is under profound stress. Your body is not trying to punish you. It is not your enemy. It is crying out for help in the only way it knows how. This hormonal chaos, this collection of symptoms we call polycystic ovary syndrome, is so often a sign of a much deeper disharmony within. It is the body's natural, logical reaction to a world that is filled with constant stressors, of foods that spike our sugar and crash our energy, of a pace of life that leaves us breathless and disconnected from our own bodies. It is an internal inflammation, a fire, that is being constantly fed by our modern lifestyle. And I need you to hear this, truly hear this. This is not your fault. You did not ask for this. You were not given a manual on how to navigate this modern world's profound impact on your sensitive and beautiful hormonal system. You are not failing. Please know that you are not alone in this feeling. Millions upon millions of women are walking this exact same path right now, feeling the same confusion, the same frustration, the same deep ache of why me. This is a shared human struggle. So let's just take a deep, collective breath together, right here, right now. Inhale slowly and exhale completely. Know that in this space, you are understood. You are safe. We are not going to approach this with aggression. We are not going to fight this fire. We are going to learn how to gently, compassionately, and mindfully cool it down. We are going to learn to nourish the body so deeply so completely that the fire simply has no fuel left to burn. This understanding, this compassion, is the true first step toward finding peace. The very first step in this compassionate journey, the most gentle and yet profound offering we can give to our bodies, is the daily practice of cooling. In Buddhist thought, inflammation, anger, and anxiety are all seen as a fire of suffering. In the context of polycystic ovary syndrome, this fire is literal. It is the chronic, low-grade inflammation that science shows is a key driver of hormonal imbalance and insulin resistance. So, we begin by introducing a daily ritual of mindful hydration, specifically with teas that have been revered for centuries in ancient traditions for their remarkable ability to soothe, cleanse, and cool. We are speaking of the humble, yet incredibly powerful, spearmint leaf, and the ancient wisdom that is held within the leaves of green tea. Spearmint tea is so much more than just a refreshing or aromatic beverage. For a woman struggling with polycystic ovary syndrome, it is a gentle, supportive warrior. Clinical studies have shown that spearmint possesses significant anti-androgenic properties. This means it can help to naturally and gently lower those excess androgens, the hormones that are responsible for so much of the suffering, like the painful cystic acne, the hirsutism, and the oily skin. It works quietly, patiently, helping to restore a more delicate and harmonious balance. Then we have green tea, a beverage that is a cornerstone of monastic life, known for its ability to foster clarity and calm. It is rich in powerful compounds, particularly one called EGCG, which is a potent ally in our specific struggle. EGCG has been shown to be incredibly helpful in sensitizing our cells to insulin. You can think of it this way. With polycystic ovary syndrome, our cells have often become deaf or numb to insulin's knock. Green tea helps them to hear that message again, allowing glucose to enter the cells to be used for energy, instead of floating around in the bloodstream where it causes chaos, demanding that the pancreas release more and more insulin, which in turn signals the ovaries to produce even more androgens. It is a vicious, exhausting cycle, and this simple ritual of drinking green tea can help to gently and effectively break that chain. But can a simple cup of tea, consumed daily, truly make a tangible difference in a condition as complex and overwhelming as polycystic ovary syndrome? Can this ancient, simple practice really help calm the hormonal storm that rages inside? The answer, which is echoed in both modern scientific research and in the deep wells of ancient wisdom, is a resounding and confident yes. The key is not in finding a single magic miracle cure, but in the gentle, consistent, daily application of compassionate care. This is not a pharmaceutical drug with a list of side effects. It is a loving signal to your body. With every sip, you are telling your system, we are safe now. We are cooling down. We are finding our balance. The confidence in this process comes from understanding that you are addressing the root of the fire, the inflammation itself, not just trying to mask the smoke. How do we invite this beautiful practice into our lives? It is all about creating a small, mindful ritual. Perhaps you can start your day not with a harsh jolt of acidic coffee that spikes your stress hormone, cortisol, but with a warm, mindful cup of green tea. Sit for just 5 minutes without your phone. Just feel the warmth of the ceramic cup in your hands. Breathe in the steam. Be present with the tea. In the afternoon, or in the evening as you unwind, prepare a cup of spearmint tea. 2 cups a day is a beautiful, sustainable, and effective goal. You can use simple tea bags if that is easiest, or you can buy organic loose-leaf spearmint for a more potent and mindful experience. Taking a moment to watch the leaves unfurl and release their essence in the hot water. The act of brewing the tea itself becomes a meditation, a tiny moment of non-doing in your busy day, a moment of pure, unadulterated self-care. This simple act of drinking tea begins the process of cooling the body and quieting the mind. It is a foundational, essential step, but that's just the beginning. To truly build a resilient and balanced hormonal system, we must also address the very energy that fuels our body. And the next principle from the monasteries is even more powerful and, in our modern diet culture, often profoundly misunderstood. Before we move forward, may I ask you something personal? How many times have you felt utterly and completely alone in this struggle? How many times have you sat in a doctor's office trying to explain your symptoms, or scrolled through social media looking at other people's seemingly perfect lives, and felt so deeply misunderstood, as if no one around you could possibly comprehend what it's like to live inside your body, day in and day out? That feeling of isolation, that quiet, deep ache of loneliness, ... I know how much that hurts. I see you. And I need you to hear this right now. You are not alone in this. We are a community. Your feelings are valid. Your experience is real. And you are not broken. If you have ever felt this way, if you are feeling this invisible struggle right now, I would be so grateful if you would leave a comment below just saying, "I understand this struggle." Write exactly that. Your message, your simple acknowledgement, might be the very thing that gives strength and courage to another woman who is reading these comments. Someone who desperately needs to know, in this very moment, that she is not the only one. Your voice is so important here. The next essential step on this path of healing is what we can call grounding. A mind that is anxious, scattered and stressed, and a body that is on a constant blood sugar roller coaster cannot find peace or balance. It is simply impossible. Buddhist masters practice grounding through meditation by bringing the mind back to the earth, back to the breath, back to the present moment. We can do the same for our hormones by grounding our energy source. This means consciously choosing to move away from the sharp, damaging, chaotic spikes of refined sugars and processed carbohydrates, and instead embracing the stabilizing, calming, and deeply nourishing power of healthy fats and abundant fiber. This is the true middle way of eating, a concept central to Buddhist philosophy. It is not about extremism, not about harsh restriction, but about finding a sustainable, beautiful balance. With polycystic ovary syndrome, the body's primary struggle, for so many, is insulin resistance. This is that deafness we spoke of earlier. When you eat refined carbohydrates or simple sugars, your blood sugar skyrockets and your body understandably panics. It releases a flood of the hormone insulin to try and manage this sudden, dangerous sugar load. This massive insulin flood is the exact signal that triggers the ovaries to produce excess androgens, and it also, unfortunately, tells your body to store fat, particularly around the midsection. Healthy fats and fiber are the antidotes. They are the grounding force. Healthy fats, like those found in avocados, extra virgin olive oil, walnuts, almonds, and fatty fish, do not raise insulin. They provide steady, calm, long-lasting energy. They are also the essential building blocks of our hormones. You need to eat fat to make hormones. Fiber, especially the kind we get from sources like ground flax seeds, chia seeds, and all kinds of non-starchy vegetables, acts like a beautiful, natural sponge. It slows down the absorption of any sugars that are in the meal, preventing that chaotic spike and crash. It buffers your entire system, keeping your energy stable, your mood calm, and your hunger satisfied for hours. This powerful combination grounds your blood sugar, which in turn quiets the insulin flood, and that, in turn, quiets the excess androgen production. You see, it is all connected, a beautiful chain of cause and effect. But wait, you might be thinking, haven't we been told for decades that fat makes you fat? Isn't it terrifying to even think about adding more fat to your plate, especially when you are already struggling with your weight? This is one of the greatest and most harmful myths that has been perpetuated in our culture, and it is especially damaging for women with polycystic ovary syndrome. The truth, which is now supported by overwhelming evidence and has been known by traditional cultures for millennia, is that the right kind of fat is not the enemy. It is your most powerful, essential ally. The true enemy is the processed sugar, the refined flours, and the industrial seed oils that drive the insulin storm. By courageously embracing healthy fats, you are teaching your body to become metabolically flexible, to burn fat for fuel, a calm, steady state of being that monks often achieve through the simplicity of their diet. You are finally giving your body the stable, grounding energy it has been craving for so long. And this is beautifully simple to apply. You can start by adding a tablespoon of ground flaxseed or chia seeds to your morning tea once it's cooled a bit, or stirring it into a small bowl of berries and nuts. At lunch, slice half an avocado over your salad, or be generous in drizzling your vegetables with high-quality extra virgin olive oil. For a snack, instead of reaching for something sugary or processed that will start the cycle all over again, have a small, mindful handful of walnuts or almonds. The goal isn't necessarily to add calories, but to swap the source. Swap the sugary breakfast cereal for a grounding plate of eggs cooked in olive oil with a side of avocado. Swap the white bread for a dense, fiber-rich seed cracker. You will be astonished at how long you feel full, how stable your energy becomes, and how the incessant, powerful cravings for sugar and carbs begin to simply fade away into the background. If these insights are helping you see a new path forward, if this is making sense to you in a deep way, please take a moment to hit the like button. It truly helps this message of hope and healing reach more women who need to hear it. And while you're there, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing so you never miss any of our upcoming tips for your journey. We have learned to cool the fire with teas and ground the body with fats and fiber. This creates a stable, peaceful foundation. But now, we must tend to the inner garden, the very core of our immune system and hormonal health, which is so often in a state of turmoil with polycystic ovary syndrome. The next principle is about consciously cultivating life, and it's a secret to radiant health that Buddhist and other ancient cultures have honored for millennia. The third principle, and one of the most compassionate tenets of Buddhist philosophy, is the practice of ahimsa, which translates to non-harming or non-violence. This compassion must be extended not only to others, but also inward to ourselves, and even to the trillions of microscopic beings that live within us, our microbiome. In the West, we are only now beginning to truly understand what ancient traditions have known intuitively for centuries. All health, and indeed all disease, begins in the gut. For so many women with polycystic ovary syndrome, the gut is a place of great suffering, often in a state of dysbiosis, which is an imbalance of good and bad bacteria, and a state of leaky gut, which drives inflammation. We practice ahimsa by actively, consciously nourishing and healing this precious inner ecosystem. And the most powerful way we do this is by embracing the ancient, life-giving art of fermentation. Fermented foods, such as raw sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, and unsweetened kefir or yogurt, are teeming with beneficial bacteria or probiotics. These are not just foods. They are living communities, allies. When you eat them, you are repopulating your gut with the good guys who are essential for your health. Why is this so critically important for polycystic ovary syndrome? Because a healthy, intact gut lining is our primary defense against systemic inflammation. When the gut is unhealthy or leaky due to stress, poor diet, or antibiotics, tiny, undigested food particles and bacterial toxins can leak through the gut wall and enter the bloodstream. Your immune system, rightly, sees these as foreign invaders and mounts a massive inflammatory response. This systemic, body-wide inflammation puts your entire system on high alert, stresses your adrenal glands, profoundly disrupts your insulin signals, and worsens every single polycystic ovary syndrome symptom you are experiencing. Furthermore, a healthy microbiome, a healthy gut garden, actually helps your body to metabolize and excrete excess hormones, particularly estrogen. An imbalanced gut, on the other hand, can lead to these hormones being reabsorbed back into your system, contributing to the hormonal soup you're already struggling to swim in. By adding a small, consistent amount of fermented foods, you are helping to seal the gut lining, calm your overreactive immune system, and directly support your body's natural, essential detoxification processes. Now, does the idea of eating fermented cabbage or sour, tangy yogurt sound strange or unappealing to you? Is it really necessary to eat these weird foods to manage a complex hormonal condition? It's a completely valid question, especially in our modern world of sterilized, packaged, and preserved foods. But for centuries, long before refrigeration, every single culture on Earth, including Buddhist monastic cultures, think of miso soup, pickled vegetables, fermented soy, relied on the process of fermentation to preserve food and to sustain life. They were, perhaps unintentionally, creating powerful superfoods that maintained their inner balance and resilience. Trusting this ancient, time-tested wisdom, which modern science is now validating with great excitement, is a profound act of self-care and self-compassion. It is a return to a more elemental, nourishing, and wise way of eating that our bodies instinctively recognize and, in fact, crave. And the application is so gentle. You don't need to eat massive amounts. The key is consistency, not quantity. Start small. A single tablespoon of raw sauerkraut. Make sure you buy it from the refrigerated section, as the shelf-stable canned kind has been pasteurized and is dead. As a simple side dish with your lunch, a small spoonful of kimchi, a little miso paste, which is a fermented soybean paste, dissolved in warm, not boiling, water to make a comforting, savory broth. If you tolerate dairy, a small amount of plain, unsweetened kefir or yogurt can be a wonderful, probiotic-rich start to your day. You are, in effect, tending to your inner garden. Gently and patiently, you are pulling the weeds of inflammation and planting the seeds of vibrant health, one small, compassionate choice at a time. We have learned to cool the fire, to ground the body, and to heal the inner garden. This creates an internal environment of deep peace and stability. But there is one final principle, perhaps the most important and foundational of all, that ties everything together. It is the very essence of monastic life, and it is the ultimate key to making all of this sustainable, peaceful, and joyful. It's about what we must remove to truly heal. This final, profound step is the practice of simplicity. If you look at the life of a Buddhist monk or nun, it is defined not by what they have, but by what they have courageously and wisely let go of. They live on simple, nourishing, whole foods, often just what is offered to them in their begging bowl. They have intentionally, mindfully removed the noise in our modern context, and especially in the context of polycystic ovary syndrome. The noise is the overwhelming, deafening flood of processed foods, refined sugars, artificial chemicals, and the constant biological stress they create within our bodies. The most profound healing, the deepest transformation, often doesn't come from adding some new exotic superfood, but from having the courage to simply remove what is causing the harm in the first place. Processed foods, fast foods, sugary drinks, and all those refined white flours found in pastries, cookies, and breads. These are the primary fuel for the fire of inflammation. They are not really foods. They are scientifically engineered substances, designed by corporations to be hyperpalatable, to override your body's natural hunger and fullness cues, and to send your blood sugar on that chaotic, damaging, and addictive roller coaster. This is not nourishment. It is a chemical assault on your delicate endocrine system. When you make the compassionate choice to remove this noise, you finally give your body a chance to breathe. You give it the space to reset. Your insulin levels, no longer under constant attack, naturally start to fall. Your cells, no longer bombarded and deafened, can finally become sensitive and responsive to insulin again. The chronic inflammation calms down. The constant, gnawing cravings, which I promise you are not a moral failing, but a biological reaction to these addictive substances, begin to quiet down and simply subside. By choosing simplicity, by choosing a simple, whole piece of fruit over a candy bar, by choosing clean water over a sugary soda, by choosing a home-prepared meal of colorful vegetables and clean protein over a frozen dinner. You are practicing the deepest and most powerful form of ahimsa, non-harming to yourself. You are lovingly removing the very source of the suffering. But does this mean a life of deprivation? Does simplicity mean you can never enjoy food again? That life must become bland and joyless? This is the fear that keeps so many of us trapped in these harmful cycles. But the monastic view, the wisdom of the masters, teaches us that it is the exact opposite. This is not deprivation, it is liberation. It is liberation from the prison of cravings. It is liberation from the exhausting mood swings, the energy crashes, the brain fog. It is liberation from the constant anxiety of what do I eat? It is about discovering, perhaps for the first time, the profound, natural sweetness of a roasted carrot, the deep, earthy satisfaction of a simple lentil soup, the clean, vibrant energy you feel from a perfectly cooked piece of fish with olive oil and lemon. You are not depriving yourself of anything. You are freeing yourself from an addiction to substances that are actively harming your body and obscuring your path to peace. And this is a gentle practice, not a violent overhaul. Start by mindfully identifying just one noisy food in your life. Maybe it's the sugary soda you drink every afternoon. Don't quit it in anger. Simply, compassionately, replace it. Replace it with a beautiful, tall glass of filtered water with lemon, or with your new calming ritual of spearmint tea. Then, just notice. Notice how you feel. The next week, look at your breakfast. Can you replace the sugary cereal or pastry with something grounding and nourishing, like the eggs and avocado we discussed? This is not a diet. A diet is a form of punishment. This is a mindful, compassionate unfolding. It is a series of small, loving choices made every single day, over and over, until they become your new, peaceful normal. The goal is not perfection, which is just another form of violence against the self. The goal is awareness. When you eat, just be aware. How does this food make my body feel? Not just in my mouth for 30 seconds, but an hour later? 2 hours later? This simple awareness, this mindful simplicity, is the most powerful, transformative tool you have. We have walked a path together today, a path of ancient wisdom. We've explored cooling the fire of inflammation with sacred teas, grounding our body's energy with stabilizing fats and fiber, healing our inner garden with living, fermented foods, and finally, finding true liberation in simplicity. This is the wisdom that endures, long after the diet fads have faded. It teaches us that the body is not a machine to be fixed, nor an enemy to be conquered. It is a garden to be tended, with patience, with awareness, and with boundless compassion. If you made it this far into the video, it means you are truly searching. You are searching for answers, for relief, and for a lasting, genuine sense of hope. This channel, Sacred Women's Health, was created for exactly that reason. It was created to be a safe haven, a quiet space in the noise, a place to help you understand your body, not as an adversary, but as a wise and profound messenger. We are here to help you regain a sense of control, not through force or restriction, but through deep compassion and understanding, and to help you find solutions that actually work, because they honor the whole your mind, body, and spirit. You are not alone on this journey anymore. We are building a safe space right here, a community where women just like you can find support, validation, and real, practical information that makes a difference in your life. If this is the kind of guidance, the kind of support, and the kind of peace you have been looking for, I warmly invite you to subscribe now and be sure to turn on the notifications. Every video we create is another step, another loving offering toward a healthier, more balanced, and truly happier you. Thank you so much for sharing your precious time and your energy with me today. Be well.